Hey, Patrick Murphy from Quarter Inch Off here. Stay tuned to the end of the video for lessons learned building the shop vac cart. I'll also share some amazing things that happened on this project. Okay, and there we have it. The shop cart painted. I was going to sand this and paint a second coat on, but that would require sanding it and putting a second coat on it. So I keep being reminded by other people in my household that this is just a shop vac cart. So, you know, it's not some fine piece of furniture. So I'm gonna let this dry and then I'll put it all together. So the next part of the shop vac, what I need to do is create some kind of latch to keep the bucket down. So what I'm going to do is mount a block of wood here to the back and put a little toggle on there to hold it down. Now I'm going to cut this down so that's the size of the top of the bucket there, and then I'll mount the clip on top of there so that it swivels and can lock and unlock the bucket. Okay, what I've done is I put the little switch here in the back so I can turn that and get the bucket out when I need to. And then I put a little block here in the front, so that way at least it keeps the bucket where I want to, so it's not going to shift around too much and move out. If this isn't needed in the future, I can just unscrew it and remove it. But it's just a little block to keep it there. And then the block in the back to keep the toggle switch there to keep the bucket from lifting up. And as you can see, it doesn't lift up at all with that. And I can easily move it out of the way to get the bucket out to clean it. So that concludes the shop vac cart. Now time for those lessons learned and amazing things that happened on this project to me. And yes, I have a sheet of them that I am reading from, so I make sure I don't miss anything. So lessons learned and first on this project for me. I've never cut out a circle before in wood. I mean, I've used a hole saw to cut out a small circle, but not a large radius that I need to have fairly accurate. So that was new to me. So figuring out how to draw that, cut it, and finish it was a little unnerving, but mainly because I didn't have extra scrap plywood to try a second time. I don't believe I've ever used that small handheld router before either. I'm trying to think back. I've had that for years, but I don't think I've ever used it. So it was my first time using a small router versus the router table or a large router to cut dados or other work that I've done. I also don't use roundovers that often. On some of my trimming videos, yes, I did some roundovers, but I used a router table, not a handheld router to do that work. So all that kind of leads to the biggest lesson that I learned on this project. And that was after I figured out how to cut the circle, well, I went in and immediately did the round over on both sides of that circle where the bucket goes in. However, it wasn't smooth. So I figured that when I would round it over, it would smooth out any of the imperfections from my jigsaw cutting. However, I was wrong. I should have sanded it more and filed it down so it was nice and smooth, so that the round over would have worked better and looked nicer and cleaner. So that's a lesson that I learned for doing this in the future to make those holes. So the two amazing things, or some of the amazing things that happened to me on this project that have never happened on a project for me before. And I don't know about you, but they've never happened for me. First and foremost, I didn't have to purchase any new tools for this project. I mean, that in and of itself, I usually look for projects to expand my skills and, you know, require an extra tool here or there. But for this project, I did not purchase any new tools. It was all based on tools that I already had. Disappointing, but exciting at the same time. The other thing was it was all reused materials. I didn't have to buy any materials for this project whatsoever. From the 2x material, the wheels, the screws I even had taken out of another project and reused. Even the paint were all reused from other projects, including the nice 3/4 furniture grade oak plywood that is just so smooth and nice. Even this stuff was scraps from another project that I had done. So those are two of the amazing things that happened to me on this project, at least, is no new tools, no purchase of materials, and boom, put the cart together. I hope you enjoyed this series. Please like and subscribe. I do have future builds and other things coming out. Behind me is my next project that I'm working on to build something for my reptiles. So I'll probably post those videos over there, but look forward to that series as well. Thanks again for watching.